Okay, next up is John Kelly. John Kelly is a director of software engineering at SPS Commerce. John lives in South Minneapolis with his wife, 2 daughters, and enough Lego bricks to swim in, which may be sort of a spoiler for his talk. Please welcome John.
So most of you have a job that sits in the bottom of your resume that'll eventually come off. This is never coming off my resume. I was a professional Lego master model builder, which means I sat at my desk and played Lego all day. I was not qualified for this job. When they hired me, they hired a person with a 4-year interior design degree. They hired a person with a 4-year architecture degree. I have a trimester of art from De La Salle High School in downtown Minneapolis. I was working at the Lego Imagination Center, and I had a great time doing it. I went out every day and I played with these kids, and they would say, "Please quit coming to work, we're paying you overtime." And I would show up, and they'd keep paying me. It was awesome. I was having this wonderful time. And Lego at the model shop in Enfield said, "We need a happy, smiley guy to come be a morale booster." I thought they hired me because I was this great builder. They hired me because I'm that guy. I was the smiley, happy guy who came around and was like, "This is awesome." And it was. I built these giant bridge, and I'm just played all day, and they would tell me, "We kind of want you to take your breaks, and at 6 o'clock you have to go home." But I was bored. I wanted to keep playing. They would kick me out, and eventually they said, you might be a little nuts. And so this is me building the last model I built for Lego. I built the hat that was at the top of the clock tower at the Mall of America for a great time. And you see the little minifigures out there. I kind of believed, like the elf and the shoemaker, that I had little people who helped me build these models. I said it wasn't me, it was these little people. And if you look carefully on the side of that picture, you'll see a couple guys who just stand there, and they don't have red hats. They're the bosses. They just stand there and talk. They get nothing done. They just keep working. As I build these models, this one in particular, there's some internal structure, and you're wondering, why did you build all that internal structure? Lego is a fantastic toy, and it's engineered with wonderful tolerances. But when you glue them, they stay together. And if you get to the top and you can't quite stud across the top, they look kind of frown on that. They tell you didn't do a good job. So that's the internal structure between. You can see the bosses are still just standing there. This is like 3 days later. Everyone else moves. They stand there. I built a little Lego egg that fried in the frying pan because it was hot in the model shop, and I thought that was not good. I have the little Lego guys who were dancing. That meant it was a good day for me because they danced. When it was a bad day, they'd all look like this, and sad. That's my instructions off to my right on that picture. I got half of a hat. You had to show that you could build it the way anyone else could. So that's a dry hat, half of a hat, no glue on it. And then I go through and I glue every piece as we go. And they say, make a little change here, make a little change there. Occasionally I screw up, and I send Bert down with a pickaxe. He's got to knock that thing out of there. I got to fashion a new brick and try to squeeze it in there with glue and hope that nobody notices I did it. I blamed them once. They all went on strike. It was traumatic. When they're done, 2 weeks later, we have a party at the top. You notice the bosses have moved from the hat to the party. They're perfectly happy to go to the party, but they wouldn't help build the hat. There's 2 weeks of a model. There's my hat all done. A lot of times when you build these models, I'm only allowed to use the same elements and the same things a 10-year-old had. So I had this wonderful yellow aisle full of bricks that were from the last 5 years, essentially. And I could use any element I wanted in any quantity I wanted. So those bricks you find 2 of in a $100 set, I gladly use 50 of them. As I would build these models, you'll hear a lot of people talk about like a guess the number of bricks contest. I can help you all. The number is even. You weigh the model, you multiply by a constant, boom, that's the number of bricks in the model. When I'd get to do recycling, I didn't recycle this model, but I want to talk about them. Recycling meant I put on a pair of safety glasses, and then I took an 8-pound sledgehammer, and I smashed the thing into itty-bitty little bits. And that big penguin built out of Duplo bricks, that ice cream cone, that horrible, horrible ice cream cone, there are no pink Duplo bricks. So for a day and a half, I built with tiny, itty-bitty little pink bricks, and I wanted to kill people. Pink is an angry color. I've had a lot of trouble giving this up. I still walk out to the Mall of America when they do events, and I find some little guys who are cranking out building Lego sets, and I come up to them, and I challenge them to build, and they get excited, and I crush them. It's awesome. It's just so awesome. The other thing we do is we have a train layout off in northeast Minneapolis, and we'll let the kids come in, if they bring a Lego train, we'll throw it on the layout, we'll let them play with the train. I like to let them get up and close to it, because as a kid, I hated it when I couldn't see how you built it, and I'm determined to show you that. If you do really well at a job you loved 20 years ago, they invite you back after 20 years. And I don't have as much hair, I can afford shirts, I'm a little bigger around the middle, but I found one of my models that hadn't been recycled, and it was just so awesome to see it. Thank you all.